Hello again, it's Steve. I'm back with another experiment with my dreads. Got to thinking about the fact that this mold is flexible, and I know that dreads sometimes, which we try for curved or pre-curved dreads. So this is my attempt at a seamless pre-curved dreadlock. And all I did was essentially just curve this mold, which was cast straight with a straight dreadlock plug. I've made a new plug, and I'm looking at recasting this, but I want to cast it straight or vertically. And then I was thinking, what could I do to maybe curve it? So this is a big experiment to see what happens. How does the foam settle if the mold is curved and then it sets up inside of it? So I've gone ahead and poured the dread, and the dread is cured and it's ready to come out. So all I did was prop this up with some boxes, but eventually I'm planning on making a clamshell type mold utilizing a piece of curved PVC. If this works, I can utilize this to build the mold that would clamp around that and hold that rigid once I make my new mold. But I can still make it straight and then bend it by putting it into a different form, if you will, a different mother mold. So let's go ahead and find out how this turned out. Go ahead and discombobulate this whole thing, take it all apart. It rose up pretty good out of the top of this. And I'm going to go ahead and get my air pressure. And I did not put a string in this one because I've not had any issues with getting them out. And so I'm just going to go ahead and, with this knob that I've created in my mold on the top of this. Here we go. And looks to me like it's curved. Yeah, it's got curve to it. In other words, it hangs better this way, if you will. So that is the output of that. It swelled a little bit around this point because there was no shell or jacket on it, and that's where it was essentially being pulled in the mold. But all in all, it did not turn out bad, and it basically proves to me that I could make a mold straight up and down and then form it to cast the part, and the part will somewhat retain its cast shape because it definitely does not want to go the other direction. It wants to hang the direction it was, which was formed. So this would be, in essence, a pre-curved seamless dreadlock that I can then spray with Plasti Dip and do like I've done with the others. But it has a good feel to it. With that curve, actually makes it sit better, and it doesn't buckle or pucker underneath it at all. So if that were glued into a mask, it would look very natural. So this particular dread is still my same plug or mold at 19 inches. The one I'm looking at, I haven't determined the length yet, but the shape is considerably different. The original, which is what I just pulled this dread from, versus the one I'm working on now. This one is much thicker, less taper to it. The taper doesn't start until further down. And as you can tell, it is a little bit longer. It's about 21 inches. So I could take 3 inches down to 18 off of this. I can do whatever. But I've already coated this with a coat of PVA in preparation to put resin on it. So I still have opportunity to reshape it if I need to. But this is where I'm at with these. Experiment, I would consider it to be successful. Definitely proved a point that this is doable this way. So now my goal would be to come up with a mold And I'm going to just use a straight piece of PVC for this next one. I'm not going to do the tapered arrangement that I did, or the stepped arrangement. I'm trying to keep this simple. But then I can build a separate mold jacket utilizing this to help get a curve to that, so that I could clamp that mold, that rubber mold, into this jacket and then pour my dreadlocks accordingly, and they would come out with that memory, if you will, that's naturally curved that direction. So I would consider this a successful experiment.